welcome. It's a girl, Red Rose, a missionary. Oops, I don't know if I should continue to say Red Rose, your girl. Yeah, of course, I'm still your girl, you know. I just clocked 36. For some of you who are watching this video for the first time, so I'm excited. I just clocked 36 2 days ago. Yeah, so yesterday I was talking about age and how for me at some point I was struggling about growing, you know, because I thought I was going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. And I was sort of sharing about how people have issues with how their age because of hidden insecurities that sometimes they don't know that they have. You know, I was just pretty much sharing about that and how they just have to look through themselves, within themselves, and see what is causing them not to appreciate how old they are or how young they are. So for more about that, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe first of all, and listen to that video and let me know what you think. So today I'm still in the mood, so I want to talk about growth. You know, my husband and I think 2 years ago had an opportunity to attend some sort of training based on a book that John C. Maxwell wrote, which is 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, you know. And for me, growth is something that I'm super passionate about. Like in everything I do, I love to grow. Like if I'm not growing, I get so tensed up, you know. And obviously when we saw that and we had to jump and we attended with my husband, it was amazing. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that book. Obviously I learned a few things from there, a lot of things from there. But what I want to share is from what I have sort of observed, you know, from my life and from working with a lot of young people, both in my career, in the church, out of church, and so on. So first of all, like John C. Maxwell says, that paraphrase, that, you know, you can only grow what you value. All right, so it's very important for you to know that if you don't value yourself, you can't grow yourself. Do you know that there are some people that don't have a growth plan? Maybe you are one of them, you know, like you're just like, oh my goodness, you know, we'll keep growing, you know. And I think it's very important to have a plan on how you're going to grow, you know. So for me, I always think about, okay, so what areas do you want to grow in? You know, is it mentorship? You know, in the past couple of years, I prioritized mentorship and a bit of coaching, you know. So is it mentorship? You know, is it your career? Is it what? Like, do you have a plan on where you want to see yourself in terms of your growth in the next year, in the next 6 months, in the next couple of years? So yeah, so it's important for you to have a plan. So first of all, you have to understand that if you don't value yourself, you can't grow. Number 2, you have to have a plan on how you're going to grow, you know. And one of the things that I've learned is that it's not about what you are exposed to, it's about the application of what you are acquiring, okay? The knowledge you're acquiring. Like, I've learned that it's possible to be at every conference, at every training, at every meeting, but still be the same. You know, so the first stage, obviously, for me, I think, is the fact that you need to understand that you need to grow. You need to be motivated, self-motivated to grow, all right? You need to understand that you can only grow when you value yourself. Like, it's important that you value yourself so that you can make yourself grow. And obviously, you need to have a plan, but also you need to apply what you're learning, all right? And I want to say this, that no one can force you to grow. I don't know if it's possible. You know, what I mean is, no matter how much someone pushes things or knowledge down your throat, as long as you don't want to do anything with it, you will not grow, you know. It doesn't matter who you're exposed to. You can be exposed to the best mentor, you can be exposed to the best teacher, you can be exposed to the best coach. But as long as you're not applying what you're learning, it's almost impossible for you to grow, you know. So today I want to challenge you. You know, I want to ask you a question, like, how passionate are you about your growth? You know, how much do you value yourself? You know, like, do you think growth is important to you? If yes, what are some of the things that you've learned over the past, let's say over the past 1 month, and what have you been able to apply? You know, and I wanted to say this as well briefly, that sometimes as a mentor, as a teacher, as a pastor, as a coach, you'd find that sometimes you might feel like there's something wrong with you when you are working with people and they don't seem to grow, they're still making the same mistakes, they're still falling in the same ditch, you might start to think, oh my God, like maybe there's something wrong with me. But I want to encourage you that at the end of the day, it's beyond. Obviously, I know a teacher, a coach, and so on, they play a key role, but it's always important to know that people that are, you are working with are owning their growth. For me, I've learned that every time I became passionate about an area of growth, like I grew in that area. I'll give an example. My husband is very entrepreneurial. I'm learning to be like that. And you find that every time my husband gives me a book on entrepreneurship, I struggle to read it. Like I struggle. He will read. Oh my goodness, I will struggle. But then there's some certain books that I love. Give me a book on leadership. Oh my God, you don't even have to force me to read it. My husband gets shocked. Like, give me a book on leadership, anything leadership, I will read it. And so on and so forth. So you know what I mean? Like, so it depends. Like, you need to. So for me, like what I was trying to say is, for me, I haven't prioritized growth in entrepreneurship. Obviously, now I'm thinking about it. I want to be deliberate about it. As a result, I haven't grown so much as a business person, as an entrepreneur. And look at my husband; he's grown so much. He's gotten so much skills, so much experience, because he prioritized that. And look at me, I prioritize other areas, like let's say public health, let's say research, mentorship, and so on. And I have literally grown in those areas, So it's important for you to have a plan, but also for you to be determined to grow for yourselves. Your teacher will not grow on your behalf. You have to grow. Sometimes growing is not easy because it means that you have to put aside some things. Let's say if you're reading a book, if I'm reading a book, it means that maybe I need to wake up a little early, or I need to create extra time for me to read. But because I'm so excited about how I will become at the end of that, you'll find that I will have time to do that. So I want to challenge you to literally have a plan. I know I keep on saying these things, have a growth plan. So maybe the first step could be about, evaluating your life. How do you think you're faring, spiritually, emotionally, academically, different areas of your life. And if you're not happy with those areas, ask yourself, what investments have you put in those areas of your life? And if you feel you haven't done any investments, then start now. Now there are a lot of books online that you can read. There are a lot of trainings online, you know what I mean? Like if it's school, there are some schools there that you can apply for scholarship and so on and so forth. So you have no excuse that I don't have money, I don't have opportunities and so on, because everything is there. But then the last part is application. Sometimes when growing it gets tough, but I want to assure you that at the end of the tunnel, there's great fulfillment, because you look back and say, oh my goodness, I used to do things like that, but now I've changed. Last but not the least, I wanted to share with you about like my sort of videos that I was doing. Like I started doing videos, I think last year in August 2019. And when for starters, obviously I was trying out and so on, but over 1 year I've learned so many things. I'm not yet there, but I'm still learning. I find time to just study how people are doing videos. I go on YouTube to see how people are doing videos and so on and so forth. And I have a plan. I know where I want to be in the next 1 year, and I'm working towards that. And I'm able to assess, my progress and see how I'm doing. So yeah, so have a growth plan and all the best. Let me know what you think, and in case you need any help. Yeah.